adventurers, what is going on? How are you? Thanks for your patience as I got the stream started more or less on time tonight, but needed a couple extra minutes of prep. Now, I always say that the show start is contingent upon furry co-pilot bathroom schedule, and I put that in there for a reason. You guys think most of that's jokes, and only most of it's jokes. What's going on? Glad you could join us. Trailder is here. Ken Fryer is here. Trailder's talking about delicious food, getting me hungry even though I just ate. Not very nice of you, Trailder, but that does sound like a hell of a meal. It's homemade beef stew simmering in the crock pot all day. Gotta love it, man. Gotta love it. Alright, yeah, so we are here back at Palm Springs International Airport. It's an airport that I've flown out of a couple times on stream with a couple different aircraft, and it's always a great one to do when you're flying Slant Alpha. We'll show you what's going on with the flight here. We're going to make another stab at Catalina Island, as we have been trying to do off and on for 7 months. I think, though, this one's going to be the charm. We'll see. At least the weather will hold up. I don't know if the pilot skills will, but we are showing 10 statute miles and clear down there at Avalon, Catalina Island. Down the Lover's Cove, and yeah, Trailder is wondering if Mrs. Slant will talk to me when we get the plane down at Lover's Cove tonight. I kind of highly doubt it. The departure out of Palm Springs, the Cathedral 1, yeah, is really quite an interesting departure. So there's this pretty serious terrain. Let's switch over to the VFR map. Some pretty serious terrain coming west out of Palm Springs with these pretty high mountains here to the southwest of the airport, and this ridge that runs on up into central Southern California. So this Cathedral 1 is really not a joke. And I haven't checked the METAR at Palm Springs yet, so I don't know what runway direction we're going to want there. But let me just move this into position here and kind of show you what the deal is, because it's got a lot of little pieces to it. And I'll do a little snip here, and we'll do some drawing. So here's the airport, and you got two choices. If you're taking off to the westbound, you maintain this 310 until you cross this radial, this 268. Then you make a right, and you follow this in direct to the VOR. After you get to the VOR, you go out 104, 10 miles to this point. Then guess what? You turn around, and you go back direct to the VOR again. If at this point you're not yet at your altitude, minimum altitude required to proceed on our route, which for us is this Victor 372 westbound, and Victor 372 here. All right. If we're not yet at 14,000 feet, guess what we get to do? We get to make a right turn, fly for a minute, make another right turn, fly for a minute, and get back to the VOR again. So we're going to be crossing over this Palm Springs VOR at least twice, and possibly 3 or more times, before we get to 14,000 feet and we're able to proceed westbound on this Victor 372. All right, so there's minimum en route. So that's where we got to be. And so this is a fun one to fly. I always try to hand fly it when I can. It's, like I said, it's got a lot of moving pieces. If for whatever reason we go eastbound, it's eastbound on a 100 heading, then we turn into the 040, and then what do we do from there? I think we might just go direct to the VOR for the hold at that point. I might have to look. Let's see. Let's look at the description for that. Oh no, it's all on there. Where's the text description? Oh, it's up top here. Climbing left turn, heading 100, cross KPSP 176, and then turn left, heading 040, intercept the 104 radial, and then, okay, so that's what it is. So it's this piece, then this piece, then this piece, then back to the VOR once, and then into the hold if you need to. So it's an interesting departure either way, although the westbound one is the kind of the more complicated one. So that's a real fun one. Like I said, then the rest of the route here. Westbound on the Victor 372 down to this point, which was called, let's see, where's the low? Homeland VOR, and then we continue westbound. Then there's Seal Beach, right? Yeah, Seal Beach. And then out from Seal Beach we go into Catalina. And hopefully visual conditions there, as we are still showing 10 static miles and clear. And I think we also just had Los Angeles Center log on a few minutes ago. I know we've got SoCal on. I think we're going to be talking with SoCal, actually. But in case SoCal happens to drop, I think we've also got LA Center on. So we should have online air traffic control either way. LA Center, 25.8, and SoCal looks like it's on 24.5. So even though Palm Springs is depicted outside this little circle is just an approximation of the Bravo. The actual TRACON area for Southern California extends pretty far out. Like most of this area below 10,000 feet belongs to SoCal. TRACON. So, yeah, it's a fun one. The Palm Springs, the Cathedral 1 departure out of Palm Springs is definitely a fun one. All right, let me mute the mic for just 1 second here. Be right back with you. And I am back, and so is Shenanigans. Shenanigans is here. So we're going to see some fun Slant Alpha flying here in the Douglas DC-3. We're over on the west side, FBO, at Palm Springs. Let's get the airport diagram back, and I'll show you that. So, yeah, last time we flew out of Palm Springs in the Douglas, we were over here, and these little taxiways are kind of narrow. I started up at this FBO here, so we'll hopefully have a little bit better taxi routes and wider taxiways, and we'll have to do a little less grass mowing as we get out to our runway at Palm Springs. So let's go ahead and get the plane fired up, and we'll start our weather briefing here at PSP, and we'll get talking to some controllers, and then we'll get moving on. All right, get my checklist back in front of me off screen here, and so we've already run the little pre-stream checklist. We do need to go ahead and set our fuel load. We can do that, and we'll come up into the weight and balance page. I've calculated. We are going to do a second leg tonight also. We'll talk about that a little later on. 3,750 is the starting fuel weight. That's going to get us to both legs. And obviously we're going to, that's 3744. That's close enough. Obviously we're going to need to lower the payload weight to stay under the legal max for the plane. So there we are. Done, and apply. We'll get the master battery switch turned on over yonder. And nav and beacon lights can come on, which are over here on the captain's panel. Fuel tanks can come into the mains position. So for this plane, left aux just turns all the fuel tanks on. That's a not completely fully modeled fuel system in this plane. It is a freeware work in progress, but hasn't really been actively developed in a while, so I don't know if they're going to continue to work on it or not. But left aux just means all the tanks are active until/unless that fuel system gets completed. We will get the cowl flaps into the open position. That's fully counterclockwise, those two sink handles that you see slowly moving over there to the right of the first officer's chair. All right, we're done there. Get the props full forward. That's the leftmost levers. And we're starting with just the number 2 engine. So we'll get the mix, the fuel pump, the magneto, primer, and we'll hit the starter as soon as we clear the prop area. Yep, okay. We've got these two yokels over here standing around. Hopefully they watch themselves here. Gonna get that awesome Pratt & Whitney running. And do they still have all their appendages? Yeah, they do. All right, we're good. Once we got oil pressure, fuel pressure, all that fun stuff, we'll get the generator on and the fuel pump off. It does sound like the furry co-pilots need to run out back real quick, so let me take care of that. I'll be right back with you. Sorry for the interruption. Alright, they're doing their thing, and it's nice weather out, so I kind of left the back door open for them to come in kind of whenever they're done. Hopefully she won't be digging under the gate back there. Ken says, if they're not smart enough to back off when they hear the engine firing up, they deserve to lose some appendages. Appendages, schmendages. Well, freight co-pilot number 1 is back in the building. Alrighty. Trailer, I agree with Ken. Well, motion carried. There you go. Alright, where did I leave off? I got the generator on, fuel pump off. Okay, we're good. So we got number 2 up and running. We'll get the start getting the rest of the electrical power up on the plane, and the radio altimeter I set to the 1X. And we sent our flight plan. We do need to go ahead and check for an ATIS here. I don't think there's an ATIS, but we can check for a METAR at least. We'll get Swift back over here and do that. That's the ATC page. METAR is KPSP. 100 at 5, so we actually will be taking off to the eastbound, it looks like, the 13s. 10 statute miles and clear. Nice hot day in SoCal, 36 degrees, and no humidity whatsoever with that dew point at -3. Gotta love it. 2978's the altimeter, we'll get that set. That's down here. 29er, where is it? Okay. 2907, I can't quite see on that, but we can verify via the field elevation, which is 476 feet. Oh, it looks like it's low. Hold on. Okay, so I've set below it. So there's about 2976, yeah, and that's reading closer to 480-ish right there. All right, that's good. Always good to do that cross-check. When you're sitting on the ground, you know what the field elevation is, so you know what your altimeter should be reading, so you can use that as a secondary method of figuring out what the correct altimeter setting is. We can attain our clearance. I shall check in first with SoCal. It's like 24.5. So we'll see if this is the correct channel for IFR clearance. Oh, that's a nav radio. Maybe I'll let's do that there. So there's 24.5. We got Love Airways CEO is with us. Love Airways CEO, appreciate the follow button. And hopefully that means you'll be back to check us out. Mostly general aviation flying on this channel through radio navigation only. That's what Slant Alpha means. But we change it up every now and then. It's the let you listen to that audio while I go and check on the status of the furry co-pilots. So I'll be right back with you guys. 1 second.
7077, calculation center.
And SoCal for King Air 316 Alpha for airborne passing 2000, like to pick up of a firefighter down to San Diego, then Veracruz. Radar vectors, Mission Bay.
Number 316 Alpha, SoCal squawk 4670.
4670.
Alright. All furry co-pilots accounted for.
We're at 3,000, 10,000.
He's got kind of a busy channel going on, so while I'm waiting for an opportunity,
SoCal departure, radar contact,
get a word in, I'll
3000.
run through the rest of the checklist here. Nav and ADF tuners will be set as needed. On the Cathedral 1, that means
316 Alpha, radar contact, say altitude.
the Palm Springs VOR 115.5. Come on.
316 Alpha, we're at
115.5. And we're going to cross the 176 radial, and that's going to be our cue to turn, so we'll go ahead and set that.
5,000, until the southwest cleared, localizer runway 27 approach.
Last 330 for 2688.
Alright, so there's
2688 300.
1, 2, 3. Okay, so that's
last 300,
1, 4. So that's 176.
5,000 till on
And so we'll maintain 100 until we cross it, and then we'll turn to 040. Then we'll reset that radial to the 104 outbound. Go ahead and set this down on the
7077, please.
15.5. Actually, since we're going to track to that outbound of 104, I'm going to set that in this one up here.
Yeah, 2255. I just saw you ident. Still looks like you're squawking 2200.
1, 2, 3, 4. So that's the one we're going to track. The one that's our Q. So here we go. The one we're going to turn and track is this 104.
Do you have the airport in sight?
The one that's our Q is this 176. So that's what we'll set on the nav too.
Premier 119 cleared visual approach runway 25 left. Contact LA Tower now 125.8.
Alright, so 180. There's 180. And then go down 4 clicks, 2, 3, 4. There's 176. Alright, let's see if we can get our clearance. SoCal approach, Douglas, 514 Delta Victor's on the ground at Palm Springs, IFR to Catalina.
Remember, 514 Delta Victor, clearance is on request. It's going to be a few minutes.
No worries. Kind of figured. Continuing.
United 2255, I had you assigned on a duplicate code, squawk 4756.
Let's see, so nav and ADF tuners have been set. We'll go ahead and fire up the number 1. That means seatbelt lights can come on. So everybody's in, everybody's fastened, everybody's down, right? Seatbelt lights are coming on. We'll get the number 1 startup sequence going. That's mix.
And
Mix
King
up here.
16 Alpha, like to pick up 5R, radar Victor's
Magnetos.
direct to San Diego.
Fuel pump.
United 22
Primer.
55, contact LA Center on 125.8.
And we'll clear the prop. And with starter.
United 1255, have a good day. Later.
Alrighty. Good to go. Once we
Number
got
316 Alpha, your clearance is on request.
oil
Number
pressure,
two,
we'll
stand
assume
by.
we got fuel pressure as
Number
well,
one
so we'll
now.
shut the generator on and fuel pump off, and there we are.
American 2688, runway 27, cleared to land.
Alright, we'll go over and have the first officer check the carb heat. Let's see. Always forget how to get to those views. Carb heat number 2 works. Carb heat number 1 works.
Clear to land runway 27, American 26.
Go ahead and sync our headings. So what's that, about a 2?
Alpha, you're cleared to San Diego. Radar
7
vectors,
to
Mission Bay,
6.
direct. Climb and maintain 3,000.
About a 258, right?
Keep the squawk.
Alright, keep the squawk, clear to San Diego, Liberty Field, radar Victor's Mission Bay direct. Trying to change 3,800 for
27.
06 Alpha.
So there's 26. And then maybe like one more click to the left, okay. And then down here, it's 26, and then maybe 2 more clicks. Then I'm gonna just set this to 0 so I'm not accidentally looking at it. Alright, we'll check our flight controls. Actually, let's do this, yeah. Alright. Check our flight controls. We'll have somebody verify that surfaces move the way they should. And they, all seem to be working inside, but somebody will verify that they're working on the outside, so we're good to go there. Taxi lights can come on, and we'll go flaps 1. Actually, I'm going to hold off on the taxi lights. We're going to set the flaps, though. I know I'm at the... And we can actually take 1-3 left if he wants to send us out that way. No, wait a minute. Where am I? I'm on this side. I'm over here. Then I want to be facing kind of north or east. And we'll pick up whiskey going that way. And whiskey to 1-3 right. Yeah, I was thinking 1-3 left because I was thinking we were over here. We were going to go up this way.
Number 4 Delta Victor, clearance available. Advise ready to copy.
5 and 4 Delta Victor, go ahead. So that's not the case.
Number 514 Delta Victor, cleared to Catalina Airport. CAT 1 departure. Palm Springs transition. Venice files. Maintain 7,000. Expect 1 to 4,000 5 minutes after. Departure frequency 124.5. Squawk 4706.
Alright, cleared Catalina, Cathedral 1, Palm Springs, and that is filed. Maintain 7,000, expect 14,000, 5 minutes, 124.5, and 4706, 5 and 4 Delta Victor.
Hey, Charlie Golf Lima Whiskey X-Ray. Sorry, it's been a while. What was your request?
Departure to northwest.
4, 7,
Charlie Golf Lima.
06.
Charlie Golf Lima Whiskey X-Ray. Roger. Say aircraft type, cruise altitude, and destination.
Alright, so really, oh, the aviation gamers here. Hey, Slant, he says. Aviation gamer, it's been a while. How have you been? Getting ready to depart Palm Springs for Catalina. I think we're going to get in with the weather this time. So, fingers crossed. We got taxi lights coming on.
316 Alpha, turn left heading 085.
So if we're facing west, I think we've got to spin around and face east and north.
And say the heading one more time, please.
November 16 Alpha.
We're down here
085.
facing west. Not sure exactly where, but we'll need to, yeah, north or spin it around all the way to the east.
Lima Whiskey X-Ray, Roger, Squawk.
And then pick up whiskey going that way.
Runway 20 left, taxi via Alpha.
So at this point, I had said our wheels up time would be 10 minutes from now. I think we're still good, presuming we get our clearance momentarily. Aviation Gamer says, going great, just started my YouTube channel, but only one subscriber. That's the head. Hey, you all got to start somewhere. I'm coming up on 100. I've got 95, I think, last I checked. But it all started with, like, my brother-in-law and a couple other people, you know, that I know. So it'll start small, but it'll get there, man. It takes some time. I've been doing this for a year now. All right, so we're just waiting for... Well, we never did get our readback correct, but SoCal Douglas 514 Delta Victor, we're ready to taxi. He's struggling. He's got quite the workload going.
November 514 Delta Victor, where are you on the field?
West side GA, just north of the terminal.
November 514 Delta Victor, runway 31 left, taxi via Whiskey.
We able to get 13 right?
Number 514 Delta Victor, runway 13 right, taxi via Whiskey.
13 right via Whiskey, 514 Delta Victor. Yeah, winds were more favorable for 13 right, it seemed. So. And it only looks like we decapitated a couple of people, so we'll count it as a win.
Number 316 South, are you climbing 3,800?
Affirmative, headed death there right now.
Number 316 Alpha, thank you very much. Maintain, reaching 3,800, do not exceed 180 knots.
Alright, don't exceed 180, reaching 3,800, 216.
We may not be where we thought we were. Let's see, what is this? Alright, there's a control tower. Yeah, I'm a little lost. That's nothing new, though. Al South MIA has checked in. Alright, this says November and Whiskey. Okay, or Hotel and Whiskey. God, that's about where I thought I was. Okay, that's good. Everyone else arrived while Trailer was ninjaing AFK. Hey, speaking of ninjaing, Trailer, I do owe you a big thank you for rescuing me from the holding cell over at Hill Air Force Base from last week. Those of you who don't follow the social media but did happen to catch the stream, you might not have realized something was a little out of the ordinary, except for when we landed at our destination, it didn't quite look like our origin. And lo and behold, it wasn't because I was just on the other side of the field. I was actually at a completely different field.
Runway.
Man, oh man.
Standby.
And a lesser man would have just brushed that off and said, oh well, I guess they were all fooled. But no, I like admitting my mistakes because that's how you learn from them, and that's how you help the community learn and discuss the pitfalls and perils that can be involved with aviation if you're not careful. So figured I'd own up, and we can all have a learning experience and a little bit of a laugh.
Alpha, turn left heading 140. Direction right turn, right turn heading 140.
Yeah, man, when you get two airfields right near each other like that, it is really easy to do. Really easy to do. But,
Qantas 12, SoCal departure, radar contact. I'm maintained 1.
But yeah, that's quite the experience. Let me go ahead and get this taxi out checklist underway so I can make sure that we're ready to go when we get up to the end of the runway here. Taxi out means we'll check our hydro pressure. Those two white gauges over there, they look good. Brakes have been checked because I've been using them continuously to keep the plane straight, so we know that they work okay. While we're looking over there, by the way, we can get cows into trail mode. So that's there. What else are we going to do? We can get the no smoking sign on. That lets our cabin crew know that departure is imminent. Ken says, I'm just glad you got out of the brig in time for tonight's stream. Well, we did have to postpone it tonight, right? Took me that extra day to make bail.
Qantas 12, heavy.
So there's whiskey and kilo. And so this will be our...
125.8, thanks.
Charlie Golf Lima, whiskey, X-ray, radar contact.
last taxiway until we get up to the end. Downwind Sim is here. How's the weather at Catalina, he says. Well, right now showing 10 statute miles and clear with nothing ominous in the forecast, but you know how that tends to change as soon as the wheels leave the pavement here. We'll see how it goes. Alright, remember now, it's 100 heading off of the runway, and then we'll pass that radial indicated in the lower left, and then a 040 after that. I'll bring that chart back up just so you guys can kind of see as we go. But as we get up to the hold short here, let's get our run-up done as soon as possible. Yeah, okay. Alright, run the manifold pressure up to 30.
Number 316 Alpha, fly heading 1.
Left side magneto's down 1. Left side magneto's down 2. And back. Right side magneto's down 1. You hear the engines go slightly out of sync, but as long as they're both still running mostly at full power, then we're okay. Right one's down 2. Whoops. Yeah, they went a little... RPMs dipped a little there because I almost killed it by accident. But we're back. We're good to go. We'll check the prop governor 3 times. Alright, we're good. Get the anti-collision set. Landing lights, taxi light off. Pitot heat on. And fuel pumps on, and we're ready to go.
Number 316 Alpha, fly heading 190.
Is that 190 for 316 Alpha?
Looks like we got a little bit.
Alright, 190.
DC3 is getting some hours on it with this guy. Yeah, it probably is a little tired. It's what? It's about 80 years old, right?
240. Maintain 3,800.
Not quite as old as me.
Localizer runway 27 approach.
Or vice versa. Not quite twice as old as me.
2,800 till stop is 316 Alpha.
Number 316 Alpha, heading 240. Just want to verify.
240 for 316 Alpha.
So Cal Douglas 5-4 up Delta Victor at Palm Springs 1-3, right, ready to go.
Number 4 Delta Victor, roger, stand by 10 seconds.
I will stand by 10 seconds. You owe me 10 seconds of fuel, sir.
Number 314 Delta Victor, fly runway heading, runway 13 right, clear for takeoff.
1-3 right, clear for takeoff. You want us on runway heading, or you want us on the Cathedral 1? Come on, man, don't take away my fun.
Number 514 Delta Victor, roger, climb via the port. Okay, stand by. Okay, number 4 Delta Victor, via the Delta 1. Runway 13 right, clear for takeoff.
Alright, clear for takeoff 1-3 right, fly the Cathedral 1, 5-4 Delta Victor. Yeah, runway heading's going to lead us into a mountain. Alright. Temps and pressures look good. We'll advance and we'll set 45. Bring it back to 45. Tail's going to go flying. And we'll hold the center line here. Actually, might get flying before the threshold. And away we go. We didn't even touch runway. Gear coming up. Alright, we're through just about 400 feet there. Flaps can come up. Let the nose pitch down just a bit so we can get that airspeed up to that yellow mark. We'll start turning towards that.
Delta Victor, radar contact, say altitude climbing.
We're going through 1,100 going to 7,000.
Number 4 Delta Victor, roger, altitude check.
Alright. Settle in on that 100. 25 and 40 on the power, 25 on the RPMs, 40 on the manifold pressure. That's now set.
Did Mike Echo 822 say the call sign, please?
Short takeoff, even while fully maxed out on payload and fuel, yeah. Yeah, well, these planes were very good short field performers, and we're going to put that to the test in Catalina. It's a pretty short runway. And pretty short runway and a fairly difficult approach, so we're really going to have to get it right.
Mike Echo 822, roger.
Alright, now, speaking of getting it right, we're supposed to be on a 100 heading, so I'm going to edge the plane back to the left here. I'm going to make sure we're keeping 25 and 40. Nose down, make sure we keep that good forward airspeed.
Thank you, runway 27 clear to land.
As the VOR on the lower left crosses center, that's when we're going to fly. We're going to make that left turn to 040, and then we're going to intercept that outbound radio. Let me get some lights on in here.
Charlie Golf Lima with the X-ray, you're approaching the Bravo. Do you want Bravo clearance?
Hang on. Oh, come on. Alright. Oh, okay, so there's VO on the lower left is crossing the middle. You see it? Don't have time to point it out right now.
Charlie Golf Lima with the X-ray, roger, stand by, remain outside the Los Angeles South Bravo airspace.
Alright, 25 and 40 maintained. Bump the throttle up just a little bit. Turning now to a 040. I will show you this chart for those of you that missed it. It's the Cathedral 1 out of Palm Springs, if you want to pull it up on your end. But it's got a lot of little pieces to it. Okay, so now we're on a 040, and now we're going to intercept that 104 outbound radio you see in the upper left VOR gauge. So I'll pull the snip off screen here for you.
Delta 1591, SoCal departure, runway 27.
Whoops.
Correction, stand by, one arrival prior to your departure, stand by.
Drew across the top of it, but 100, cross this radial, and 040, join this outbound, go to 10 miles, which I drew over, but it's right there, then turn back towards the VOR, and then if we're at 14,000, we can proceed westbound. If we're not, we'll go around the hold until we are. So, pull that up and look at it if you want to. I need to get it off the screen so I can see what I'm doing.
Charlie Golf Lima with the X-ray cleared into the Los Angeles Cloud Bravo airspace through the coastline route.
Alright, so 040, and we're still waiting to intercept. You see the VOR in the upper left, still showing on right of course. So we're going to stay on that 040 until that starts to come in.
Charlie Golf Lima with the X-ray maintain 6,500 on the coastline route.
Ken says I've got it pulled up now. It's a really interesting departure. Yeah, this is a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun to fly. It's a lot of fun to hand fly. So now that VOR coming in, I probably started that turn just a little late, as is my usual habit, so no surprises there. But now we're going out to a 104. Now the other thing is, he told us climb and maintain 7,000, and he hasn't given us higher yet. So I'll just check in with him as soon as we get close to that. I'm losing manifold pressure. I'm going to bump up to 25 and 40. Now we're above 4,000, so I can go ahead and get the cabin crew light off, the no smoking sign. We can go to our extended cruise power now, which is 24 and 37. So we will pull the power back just a little bit.
Delta 1591, roger, hold short, room
And then I don't think we ever got the fuel pumps off either, so we can do that. Alright, so 104 outbound, and now the next trick is when we get to that point en route, which is 10 miles out on that 104, we turn back in direct to the VOR. So we're looking at three things here.
Alpha, roger, exit left, contact ground on
We're looking at this to maintain that 104 outbound.
3.9.
We're looking at the DME, and when that gets to 10, we're going to be looking at this arrow, and we're going to turn it around so that it's direct to, which means we're coming right at it.
Delta 1591, runway 27, cleared for takeoff.
I'm going to come left a little bit, just because the VOR is telling me I'm deviating off of that 104 radial. And I'm about to pass 6,000, so I'm going to ask him if he wants me to stop at 7 or if he wants me to continue on up. Let's get the manifold pressure back up to 37 here. Trailer says the problem I had was figuring out the differences on the VOR, or the from-to differences on the VOR that I was flying earlier in the week, and I blew it, and just then flew direct to intersect. Yeah, not too difficult to do. SoCal 514 Delta Victor's passing 6,200. Confirm you want to stop at 7.
Number 514 Delta Victor, climb and maintain 13,000.
13,000, 514 Delta Victor. I'm kind of doing some of this guy's work for him, but I also know that he's a student controller, so we're all here to learn.
Number 514 Delta Victor, so I can keep you in my airspace. Expect a final cruise altitude of 12,000.
Okay, 12,000. Just as long as we're going to be okay on the westbound airways with that, that's fine.
November 4 Delta Victor, rudder time maintain 12000.
2000. Alright, so we exceeded that 10 DME. We're now turning all the way around to go back direct into the VOR. Yeah, you get more flies with honey. Yeah, and the other thing is, Trailer, I know what this chart says to do, but there's certainly leeways that the controllers are able to give, such as clearing me on a route that's below what's published, that they can do because they have more information than I do about what's in the airspace and what's not. So I certainly do trust their judgment.
Delta 1591.
In some cases more than I trust my own. But it's, since it is just a little different than what's on the chart, I just want to kind of confirm. Alright, so 24, and we'll bring the propellers down a little bit, 24 and 37. We got the throttles maxed now, and we got barely getting that 37, so I think that's as good as we're going to get at this point. We got 8 miles to get up to 12,000. We got 8 miles to go up another 4,000 feet. I don't think that's going to happen. So we're going to have to be prepared to do a lap of this hold.
Delta 1174, SoCal approach. Hello, you can expect the RNAV Zulu runway 27 approach.
Let's move this over here.
Altimeter 2983.
So we're going to need to be prepared to do a lap of this hold. Get into the VOR. We're going to do outbound on 124 heading, and then inbound on a 304. And then once we get up to 12,000, then we can proceed west on our outbound radial. We're kind of on a 304 inbound to the VOR now. We don't need to be, but it just worked out that way. But I'm going to go ahead and just spin this around so that we'll be prepared for lap 2. 1, 2, 3, 4. Whoops, wrong way. Alright, so there's 300. Yeah, there's 300. 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright. Alright, so yeah, we don't need to be on that radio right now. We're just flying a direct 2. Trailer says, as it says in the electrician's Bible, authority having jurisdiction. Yes, they're the ones that make the decisions. I just work here. Yeah, now I know he's a student controller, but I also know he's a pretty experienced one. And, you know, they know their stuff. I kind of had to coach him a little bit because I wanted to fly the departure rather than the heading, just for the exercise of doing that departure. He probably could have had me on a runway heading and given me vectors, but just for the training purpose of it, I wanted to fly the departure, so I kind of gave him a little prod there. And I had to remind him I was told to stop at 7. So those are little minor things. And that's, you know, working with controllers is two-way. It's not they instruct and you listen. It's, if you think there's something that they should be doing that they're not, you know, you can speak up. The key is try not to be a jerk about it. Bill of Bong is the controller. Very good, sir. Well, you're doing a wonderful job, and appreciate you being here, man. Yeah, no, I really just wanted to fly that departure, so I would have gladly taken the heading on any other day, but I really just wanted to show off this departure. It's a lot of fun. This one's a good one to hand fly. So kind of gave you a little bump there. But you got the sole assert for the position. That's awesome, man. Congratulations. Yeah, Trailed, so the departures are there to make the controller's life easier because they can just stick you on the route and you should know what you're doing. If they have the workload, so their number one mission is safety, but number two mission is efficiency. So if they have the ability within their workload to give you something that's a little bit of a shortcut, you know, they're kind of bound to do it. So yeah, they can certainly give you vectors, and if they don't, though, then you're supposed to know the route that you're supposed to fly. Alright, so we just passed 10,000. We got 2,000 more feet to go, so we've now just crossed over the Palm Springs. We're going to go outbound on a 124 heading. We're going to fly for 1 minute, and then back in on that 304 radial, which I have dialed into that upper left VOR.
Delta 1591, you're leaving my airspace. Radar services terminated. Frequency change approved. Have a great flight.
But anyway, yeah, so Trailer, to your point, yeah, I'm sure I could have just taken the vectors he was giving me, runway heading, and then wherever he was going to send me after that. I'm sure I could have taken that. But I just like flying this this particular departure, so.
Delta 1591, SoCal, you're leaving my airspace. Radar
Delta
services
1591, wake up! Alright, so we're going to settle in on a 124. We'll go for 1 more minute. Second hand is stopped there. Do I have it? Okay, yeah, second hand's moving now. So second hand was right there on the 12, so I was kind of established on this heading for about 5 seconds beforehand. So as it,
1591, SoCal, how do you hear?
as it comes up to the 10 or 11, we'll turn back in. We'll rejoin that inbound radio. Trailer's got a short story and a long paragraph. Hold on, I'll see if I can read it while I'm still hand flying here. But while I was new on VATSIM years ago, filed an approach, and the controller told me cleared for the approach, which I did not actually know, and got, oh, so you didn't hear him clear you for the approach. And I got reams, so I don't complain about vectors, but thanks for the explanation. Yeah, I certainly can't speak for the situation in question because I didn't hear the exact exchange. But yeah, clear for the approach means you can follow what's on the chart. But okay, so we're past that 1 minute. We're going to turn back in. Yeah, clear for the approach means you can follow what's on the chart and you can descend toward the runway per what's on the chart. Until you hear that clear for the approach, you got to stick with what he tells you.
Direction 250, in the process of reducing it to 250 right now, Delta 1174.
Yeah, if they give you they give you a vector, that takes precedence over anything that's on any piece of paper in front of you. That's for sure. So I'm coming all the way around. I'm going to try and rejoin this 304 radio inbound, and we only got 500 feet to go to our cruising altitude of 12,000, so I think on this turn we'll be plenty good. We'll get ready to intercept that 304 inbound.
Mike Echo 822, 8 miles from Jetsa.
I did the same thing last time. I shallowed up that turn
20
because I got nervous, thinking that I wasn't intercepting it close enough.
3,000 until established.
Shallowed up that turn, and now I've blown through it.
For right approach.
But now we'll catch up to it. We're okay. We're almost on it.
Right heading 220, maintain 3,000 feet, cleared for runway 24 right, ILS.
So there's that inbound to 304. I'm overshooting 30 just a touch because I want to get back onto that radial. But we're coming up on our cruise altitude of 12,000, so let's run our cruise checklist real quick. Get the plane leveled out. We got 34 in the manifold pressure wear. We're not going to get that because we got the throttles wide open anyway. We can bring the propeller speed back to 23 RPMs, 2300 on the RPMs. And we get the seatbelt signs off. Y'all are free to move about the cabin. We'll get the cowls closed. Oh, closed is the other way.
Delta 1591 SoCal, hello.
And
approach.
swinging past that VOR now, so we'll join the outbound radial. Let's drop the Cathedral 1 and the airport diagram. We are now going westbound on a 260.
Delta 1174, roger, you're cleared RNAV Zulu, runway 27 approach.
Cleared RNAV Zulu, runway 27 approach.
260, alright, let's get this spun down.
Mike Echo 822, once established, contact LA Tower 120.95.
Once established on the ILS, contact 1.
Alright, so that looks like 260. Oops. We blew through our altitude. Let's get back down to 12,000.
Delta 1591, you're leaving my airspace. Radar services terminated. Frequency change approved. Bye-bye.
Let's go ahead and turn left to 260.
Frequency change approved. Bye-bye. Delta.
Pretty much passing over the VOR right now. So yeah, it looks like if we're on a 260, we should be okay with the terrain here. It's going to kind of put us through that little valley. If we really need to, and Trailer, I'll tell you what, that's one thing that I've found has been beneficial for me, live streaming my flights now. Okay, now we're joining that radio. Is that anytime there's a miscommunication, I can now go back and listen to exactly what was said, or whether I missed a call or anything like that. So I now have, a permanent record of what was going on in the cockpit.
514 Delta Victor, just realized I forgot to give it to you. The Palm Springs altimeter 2978.
No problem, 2978, 514 Delta Victor. So, now got on the stream, I've got a permanent record of all communications and what was going on in the cockpit. Now, of course, it's only limited to the gauges I can see. So if something's failing and I don't have the gauge up in front of me, I don't have like a black box. But the record of the communications and what was going on at the time has really helped me troubleshoot some issues, and helped me learn and help. Initially a year and a half ago, I was reluctant to become a live streamer because I just didn't want scrutiny on that level. Dozens of people watching me and telling me what I was messing up, but it's really helped me become a better pilot.
Fly man maintained 13,000.
Able to more closely examine my mistakes, discuss how to avoid mistakes with my viewers, share experiences, share tips and tricks. Yeah, I've really been I've not regretted the decision. Once I decided to go ahead and take the plunge, I've not regretted the decision at all. And Lord knows I'm not perfect at it. I do have quite a bit of experience and knowledge, and sometimes just enough to make me dangerous, but Lord knows I'm not perfect. I'm always learning. I've got some real world pilots that are regular viewers now that push me to be better and do things the right way. So it's been a wonderful experience for me. All right, so we're dialed into that radial. Actually, I need to come a little bit more left here.
Delta 1174, reduce speed 210.
Dialed into the radio, and I got the altitude pretty well locked in as well. I'm going to go ahead and let auto take care of things for a little bit. We'll get autopilot on, level, and we'll get it into nav mode, which I believe is that lower button. Yeah, okay. We're good. So let's get the next steps in front of us as far as the navigation plan. So we're outbound on this 260 radial. We're 21 miles to this point, which is called bands. So as you can see, I'll try and highlight here for you.
Alaska 1969er, start color departure.
260.
Runway 27 clear for takeoff. Expedite please. Traffic on a
21 miles.
5 mile final.
So that's what we're doing. And we're currently, how far? We're 10 miles out. So we got another 11 miles to go, and then we got to make a turn. The hand flag is fancy, says Bill of Bog.
Charlie Golf Lima Whiskey X-ray, you're leaving the line.
Yeah,
I
I try to fly it by hand up to cruise when I can. And that one's a pretty, I tell you what, let's bring the map up and see how we did. That one's a pretty complex departure. That's why I like it so much. Sim froze up while I was trying to bring the map up. Bill of Bong has now hit the follow button as well, so hopefully that means he'll be back and check us out again. I appreciate the follow, sir. Yep. So we departed. We flew that 100. We made the left. We joined the 104. We came in. It wasn't quite a perfect turn, whole turn, but not too bad. And now we're westbound on that 260. Chasing it a little bit. We'll have to check and make sure I've got it dialed in correctly. Should be a 260, but we'll check on that. But yeah, so the departure looked pretty good here. Little wobbly as I made the turn right at the VOR, but I knew that. But yeah, not too bad. Not too far from how we drew it up on the chalkboard. So I'll have that radial set on the 260. I thought I did. It looks like it may be a 26. You know what? We'll leave it. Slant Alpha flying means you're gonna have these little inaccuracies. It's just the way it is.
Alaska 1969er, radar contact.
Just like the coach drew it up on the chalkboard. That's right. We get to this 21-mile point. Our next step is this Homeland VOR on 113.4. I don't have standby frequencies on these, but I can tune this 113.4 on the nav2, and then we can kind of watch that slowly come in as we get to that 21 DME point. We're going to be inbound. Let's see, it's a 054 outbound. So what's that? A 234 inbound, right? Get that set down here. There's 230, 1, 2, 3, 4, and we're almost at it. You can see it almost coming in. Yeah, no standby frequencies on these nav and comm radios. It's a little bit clunky to work with, but you can still use the 1 and the 2 as kind of a means to be one step ahead. Yeah, if you ever wonder why it takes me longer to switch over in this airplane on a handoff than a lot of other flyers, it's because I don't have the ability to listen ahead and set that next frequency on and swap it in. So always got to dial it when I'm giving it. Takes me that extra second. Plus I'm usually busy yapping along and narrating, so. And then I forget to check in on the other frequency. Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, I never said hi to this guy. Alright, so you can see both VORs are showing pretty much centered. And we know that point is 21 miles out, so we're really supposed to continue straight for another 1.2 miles. But I'm going to go ahead and start the turn here. We'll get the target heading to, what is that, 24 something or other? Yep, okay, we'll spin the target heading in the upper right. We'll go ahead and pop this into heading mode. We'll go ahead and get 13.4 set in the upper radio now. 13.4, whoops. And what's that inbound? 054, so 234 up top, right? So there's 240. The other thing with the Slant Alpha flying, it's sometimes really hard to tell exactly what you got dialed in up there. Is that 240 or is that 239? It's really hard to tell. 1, 2, 3, 4 clicks. Yeah, so we'll swing it about another 10 degrees left, and we'll get that dialed in back on the airway accurately. Seems like it might be time to might be time to just run through these real quick and make sure that they're all synced up. The wet comp shows a 234 there. Directional gyro showing the same, and Sperry gyro showing the same. So we're good. We're in sync. We're in sync as we say bye 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 to Palm Springs. Downwindsim's been flying the de Havilland to the Beaver with 1 nav and 1 comm and 1 ADF. don't get lost in the backcountry. Well, don't have a radio failure.
Delta 1174.
Your backup plan is just land wherever you've got a flat spot and fix it.
Runway 27 for takeoff.
Clear to land, runway 27, Delta 1174.
We got to remember we are in heading mode.
74, of course. Yep, that was meant to be cleared to land.
We are in heading mode, so we're not yet
Absolutely
intercepting.
No worries, having a long day too.
Piloted in a chart, right? Yeah, your good old dead reckoning and your pencil marks on your chart. I'm gonna go another 10 degrees left here. Just want to make sure we get this radial dialed in. Now this, I've flown this airway before. It's really interesting. The VOR that we're headed toward, the Homeland VOR, does not have DME with it. So we're not gonna know that we're crossing it until it starts swinging around. However, there was a cheat. Uh-oh. Hang on a second. Somebody's forgotten their house keys. Can you mute the mic, go let them in, and I'll be right back with you.
Alaska 1969, leaving my airspace, radar services terminated, frequency change approved, have a great flight. Alright guys, yeah, we've got a bit of a household emergency here at the Slant Alpha household, so I'm going to have to cut this one short. I can't believe it, we're going to have to make another attempt at Catalina. I thought this was going to be the one, I jinxed myself. So, yeah guys, I do apologize, but we'll make it another time. If I can get another stream in this weekend, I will. Otherwise, we will see you on Monday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. And what's the drill then? So the 23rd, yeah, we're going to try and do the next 2 legs of the Great BE-58 Lower 48 State Tour. We may substitute this. We may go ahead and take another shot at this flight on Monday, and we'll bump the tour legs back to the next stream. But yeah, I got to go, guys. I will update you when I can, and thanks for being with us. And thanks to the couple new followers. Hope that we'll see you on another night, but yeah, I've got to run. So stay tuned, guys, and we'll talk to you again soon. Thanks for being with us.